Hey guys, welcome back to another replay cast. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive on one of the princelings of the ASL. Someone who's been performing very well, getting second place, third place over and over again in the ASL, and should be next in line to take an ASL title if they can just find the right moment. It's going to be Hero, who has been grinding out a ton of games on ladder recently. He's been pushing his play to the very edge, really refining his style as of late. I'm sure he's very hungry right now for an ASL victory. It's been just barely outside of his grasp for such a long time. One thing he does need to work on, though, before he can grab that victory is his versus Terran matchup. It's sitting at about 48.8% in professional play. His versus Protoss matchup is insane at 62%. His versus Zerg is at 51%, but that versus Terran match really needs to pump up those numbers or he'll be unlikely to take an ASL victory anytime soon. We'll see how he's been practicing, how his games have been going here on the ladder today. So strap in, let's jump into the first game. All right, jumping right in, we've got Motive here in the top left, who is an up-and-coming Protoss player that I've been paying a lot of attention to. This is the most recent game on Hero's channel, or on Hero's page, excuse me, in his ladder journey. And I think this should be a great little series here. We've got two games to show you between these two, and I'm going to show them in chronological order. So we've jumped back just a little bit. There's going to be this game and then another one after that. So it's not the most recent one. Sorry about that, guys. It's the most recent series on his channel between him and someone that we actually know the name of. There are, of course, a lot of randos on Battle.net as well, but we tend to get better games if we focus on the players that we know. And so we have the gateway here at the front. Motive going to be putting on a little early pressure here to Hero, but like I said before, Hero, his best matchup here is going to be ZVP, and he's starting out in a very safe way. He's going to throw down an overpool. And I really like this style of going for the overpool early. I feel like it's it just works. It gives you a lot of room to maneuver. I don't really like going for 12 hatch, especially on a two-player map, and I don't think Hero likes to do that either. It leaves a little bit too much room for the Protoss to do something cheesy to you, right? Like they can send out the early probe, they can block you. Force your hatchery over at the third base. Looks like he has forced it over there anyway, just because of this probe, the presence of the probe here. They can, do double gate. If they block here and then they do double gate, oh my god, what a pain in the ass that is. Seriously. Oh, it's just such an annoyance as a Zerg player to have to defend in two different locations if they went two gate. And that's luckily not going to be happening here. You really don't want your third base at all if you're going to get. You'd rather have a hatchery here and like another hatchery in the main or another hatchery here. That's much better, but as you can see, things are kind of shaping up normal here. We've got some lings out on the field. About 4 lings were made in total. Generally against a gateway first, I like to make more than that, about 6 lings. Try to put on a little pressure, but looks like Hero gonna go for a more economical play here, threatening the run by, making sure that all the zealots are back at home. Want to check that ramp, make sure there's actually a zealot there and it's not just some probes blocking, and the zealot somewhere out on the map. So he does check that. He sees the zealot, he sees the other zealot there. Now he's going to see 2 more zealots moving out, so he knows that he can come in here and get some damage on this gateway. Not really anything that Motive can do about it right now, since he's sending 2 zealots across the map. There will have to be more links made, but he's getting some good damage here. Now it's just probes blocking the ramp, so he could run by, try to kill one of these probes and get up into the main, but instead he's just going to pop some more lings and send these 3 links back home to deal with these 2 annoying little zealots, and they'll probably tuck themselves in there. Yeah, that's a really annoying Really annoying spot to hide your 2 zealots. So 2 zealots there, just gonna chill. That's super. Ugh. How do you ever get through there? Well, I guess he's just gonna make a little wall of his own, but this also presents a problem for the Zerg player, right? You can't, or you're gonna have to reveal your tech, because if you were going for a Hydra bust, let's say, you're gonna have to, you know, stop at 3 drones, and then the zealots are gonna see that, and if any Hydras pop out here, he's gonna immediately know what's going on. So it actually forces you to only produce Hydras in different locations. Now these 2 zealots have come out. They're gonna start to push back this these drones here. Lings are available to try and surround those. So the zealot's gonna hide back behind the mineral patches here. I'm a little bit surprised Hero's going across the map with his Lings right now. That seems a little bit crazy. I don't know why you'd want to send that out. Looks like Motive getting a little greedy, but it's paid off. He's got his Cybernet score in the back, or in the front, and his Forge in the back, so he's not going to lose that upgrade. Looks like Ling's finally going to be forced to take this terrible engagement here in this corner. Now one at a time going to be fighting. Oh, really good micro there to pull these Lings into that crack and get a good surround there on those zealots. So Ling's going to be sent back out on the map now that Hero has retaken control of his mineral lines. He's going to be able to take a little bit of map control here. 3 zealots are going to get crushed. Oh, this is not good for Motive, man. You're getting close to your ground weapon being finished, and you're just going to lose all your zealots. Some pretty good micro, keeping these zealots alive for kind of an inordinate amount of time, and he actually might kill every Ling here. Nope. Last Ling does manage to get that final kill. He's got 2 kills, so must have taken down 2 different zealots. That's pretty impressive for a Ling. Now gonna sit here in the front and just do a little bit of scouting. No more Lings were made. He is popping out a few more now, but the Spire is about to finish. We get the Sim City going here. Should be able to put a sunken colony there if he wants to go Muta. If he wants to go Hydra, it's a completely different thing. He's popping out a bunch more Lings here. Weapons is still not done, so 2 zealots moving across the map is not that scary, but it did force, you know, 3 Lings in response, or 3 groups of Lings in response from Hero. So I guess that's something, and he has headed back home now, so he's just gonna chill here in the natural. He's got 2 cannons, not really worried about any Ling attacks here. Oh, quite a few. Ooh, losing the first Corsair is brutal. Oh no, Motive. Oh no, Motive. You can't be losing your first 2 Corsairs, my dude. That is not ASL level play. I really want to see Motive do well in the ASL in the future, but you can't be doing that, man. You cannot be losing your first Corsairs. And what is this Corsair doing over here? This is ripe for the pickings over here. Just sitting there, not moving. Of course, or if Scourge come, there's no way you're gonna be able to accelerate away from that. Corsair is going to be pulled back. He's gonna be banking Corsairs here, so he's still building some Corsairs. He's got +1 attack on the way. I think that's been spotted by Hero. Hero has gone for some Mutas, and he's got a sunken over here. So with a little bit of blocking with the drones and 4 or 5 Mutas overhead, I think he should be able to hold this off no problem. Ling's gonna come in here. Maybe some drones can be targeted down. Trying to get a look at this. I don't think any of these drones are gonna fall. This is a perfect hold by Hero. It's so rough to try and take this fight right now as Motive when there's Mutalists overhead and you don't have the Corsair number to come out on the map. Imagine if he had 3 more Corsair, or 2 more Corsairs right now. He would have had 5. Could have come across the map with the Zealots, try to put some pressure on. +1 air weapon not done yet, but that's fine. I think that Hero just saw these Zealots. Yeah, he sees them, so he's going to send over his Mutas. And he's got enough Scourge now to fight these Corsairs, so you got to be really careful here as Motive. You're already on the back foot. You're already behind. Definitely right now, Motive is behind after losing 2 Corsairs and that many Zealots. You got to be feeling bad. We've got Overlord speed coming up. We've got armor on the way, so he's going to be negating the damage coming out here from the Corsairs by quite a lot. Scourge are going to connect a lot easier. forcing the Zealots back. Oh man, Hero just dominating in this game right now. Truly showing his class here. And has all the upgrades rolling right now. He's getting into Hydra. Look at the dismal army we've got here for Motive right now. How is he going to be able to push out and take a base when he's still trying to produce Corsairs? He's still trying to retake control of the air. He's got a DT out here on the map, but it's going to get tracked down, it looks like. Nope, does manage to slip away at the last moment, so maybe he can put it somewhere where it can slow down another expansion. He's going to try and take an Expo here. Ooh, losing a few Corsairs. I think 2 or 3 went down in that exchange. So trading out a bunch of Scourge for quite a few Corsairs, that feels really good for Hero once again. Now going to be able to come out on the map with a mass Hydra play. Does have to contend with some Templars and quite a few Zealots. I don't see... Okay, +1 armor is coming up here. Another Scourge going to connect. Oh, no, actually, doesn't connect. He's going after the Templar here, though. Templar all get picked off, so 2 Templar dead. If there were Hydras waiting right here, ready to go, he could just completely deny this. There's no Templar to fight this back. So if he had all his Hydras on the other side of the map, I think this would have been just GG. It might still be GG here. Those 4 Hydra, or those 4 Mutalisks actually got taken out in the end, but there's so many Hydras coming across the map here. Oh boy, he's gonna try and cross this bridge. The Templar is there, but it doesn't have the energy. Hero doesn't know that though, so he's gonna back off. Oh, those 2 mutas still survived, but they are gonna come forward, try to pick off the Templar. Templar do survive. There's just a few more seconds here before we've got a Storm. Storm goes down there. That Templar does fall. 1 Storm remains, and Hydra's gonna push across this ramp once again. Just mass Hydra making their way over here. Hero has done a fantastic job at navigating his way into this position where mass Hydra is just gonna take control of this game. Zealot's gonna have to back off until the Hydras cross the bridge. Now they're gonna come forward and take this fight, but the bridge is now being used against the Zealots to really make their efforts difficult here. Wow, great Storm there. And another group of Hydras gonna cross this bridge now. We've got no more Storms left. The Zealot number is thinning out. They've taken so much damage already, and GG is called. Motive taps out, and Hero showing that 62% win rate in ZVP. Why it's so high in professional matches, it's because he is incredible at pulling these Protoss players apart. Okay, game 2 here between Motive and Hero. This was played almost immediately after that first game. So Motive still feeling the sting from that game on Dark Origin. We'll see if he can find a better way to approach here. At least don't lose your early Corsairs. I think that's really where Motive started to fall apart, where the game plan really began to fray at the edges when the 2 Corsairs were lost on his opponent's side of the map trying to kill an Overlord. Got a little greedy with those, and then he lost air control. He started to lose Zealots. He didn't have that timing, that critical timing where you come in with a whole bunch of Corsairs and Zealots and just hit very hard. You start killing Overlords and your Zealots are killing drones and doing all the good stuff. Yeah, that just didn't happen that last game, and unfortunately Motive got completely outclassed there. Now let's see how he does on Tempest. It's a very different map. You know, going from a 2-player map with very difficult expansions to defend. Now we're going to this 4-player map where we've got our high ground naturals that we can take. And if any Zerg player would be taking the high ground natural as the 3rd base, I think it's Hero. He is the most prone to do that kind of play. That's the kind of style that he likes, which is taking your natural and then taking another natural, putting a whole bunch of Sunkens, and it's very strong on this map. Put a whole bunch of Sunkens on high ground with buildings in front of them. Nice little wall in the front. And go into 4 base and just become, you know, kind of unstoppable in the late game. Go into Hive, get all the good stuff out, and take the game super, super late. Now, we've got a cannon on the way here because we did see that 6 lings are popping. Double cannon, in fact, here from Motive. So not taking any chances at letting any lings slip into his main base. And I like that decision. He's going to throw down his Nexus here in just another moment. Is slightly late, but that's just because the early spawning pool here from Hero. So everything pretty much evens out. And it'll be up to Hero to just do his best to drone from this position. Make sure he can get rid of this scouting probe as early as possible. He's actually going to take the 6 o'clock, which is a little surprising to me. I definitely thought he was going to go with the more turtle-y play, but in this game, instead opting for that 6 o'clock base. He can still turtle up pretty well here by throwing down a couple buildings. I think Evo Chamber there, Hatchery there, makes things pretty difficult. You can really, you know, put some sunken colonies back behind here, make it really difficult to get to, and a nice turtled position to fight from against early zealots. But we'll see what he decides to do here with this base at the 6 o'clock. We could still see a really late game. We could still see, you know, this is a 4th base for Hero a little bit later on, but we still have to make it through the early mid game as Zerg, and that's going to be challenging here against Motive. He'll definitely want to put on a lot of pressure and not allow Hero to just play his own game and just, you know, drone up really, really heavily without too much difficulty. So Motive, we'll have to see what his tech is going to be, how he's going to try to play this out. I doubt you try to Hydra Bust this. Hero's not much of a Hydra Bust player, so probably doubtful that he'll try to Hydra Bust the high ground here on Tempest. It seems much more likely that he'll just go into Mass Drone, and he's already started his layers, so he will be going for a very typical standard game here. We're going to have the Stargate thrown down now. Corsair is going to be on the way here shortly. Motive holding that worker advantage for now, but Hero rapidly closing the gap. First Zealot has slipped out. Second Zealot actually has slipped out on the map. And I don't think this has been spotted by Hero, though he may be expecting something like this. 4th hatchery coming down. It's very important that as a Zerg player, you're just continuously producing drones, just the bare minimum of lings that you need as well. Oh, the zealots are kind of hiding here still, so they haven't actually been sent down to the bottom right as of yet. But you're just producing as many lings as you can, as many drones as you can, or sorry, yeah, as many drones as you can, as few lings as you can, Hydralisk Den on the way, and then just throwing hatcheries down whenever you've got enough minerals to optimize that economy. Hydralisk Den going to be the choice. I guess he's decided not to go for a Spire this game. When you go for a Spire, it actually slows down your drones just slightly. If you go for Hydralisk Den, it's not as, it doesn't cost as much. It's not as mineral intensive. It's not as gas intensive, and you can actually pump out a lot more drones in that situation. So he's going to have a much higher drone count. Looks like he's found the Zealots out on the map, so these Zealots just going to hide back here. These Zealots just going to defend the natural, and Hero's got a good idea of what's going on while just droning super, super hard. He's going to be popping a few Hydras just at the front here to defend his Overlords. I think that's the plan anyway. I don't know why these Hydras are heading out on the map. They really need to be here to prevent any deaths of these Overlords in the early game. That's really what they're there for. I guess he is going to send them back now. Wouldn't really make sense to keep them out on the map. He sent an Overlord in. He wanted to see how far along the tech is, and he saw a little bit, but I don't think he saw this Templar Archives. It's not really time to start defending against Dark Templar, or yeah, DT slipping out on the map. So He's got very little defense over here. Unfortunately, 2 Zealots have managed to slip out on the map. They may be able... Oh, catching these Lings. That's not good. These two Zealots have not been spotted. And this is not very good for Hero. Hero really needs to defend this. 1 Hydra going to be lost here to the Zealot. More Hydra's going to be running up to help defend. Maybe he's going to target down some drones. No, it looks like he'll just target down Hydras here instead. 2 Hydras have been killed for 2 Zealots. Not the biggest deal here for Hero. Losing an Overlord or 2 is very frustrating. Looks like he's down quite a few Overlords with 8 in production. Ouch. Ouch. 8 in production right now. Definitely has been hiccuped here. And that's definitely some necessary movement from the Protoss player. You've got to get out here and do something to the Zerg player. You cannot allow them to just continuously drone. See, now 10 drones in production. If he hadn't lost those Overlords, imagine how many drones he would have right now. He's already at 33. He would already be beyond 40 at this point, I think. And now at 40 here. But you can see just how important it is to get a few Overlord kills here and there. Just interrupt things just slightly. Make it hard for the Zerg player to get those numbers of drones out in the early and mid game. Storm is just about to finish. We've got Templar on the map. We should have a Dark Templar out here as well soon. Just kind of roaming around, making sure that there's no easy 4th base here for Hero. Hero moving through the middle of the map now. Gonna come forward and he spots these Zealots. Pushing the Zealots back. Pushing the Corsairs away as well. Motive looks like he's preparing to take the 3rd base. This is a very difficult 3rd base to hold. It's close to your natural, but it's pretty hard to put cannons all around this in a way that's going to defend it properly. We've got these Zealots running around the left-hand side here. Corsair number has been cut down substantially. With just 2 Corsairs, you can't really kill Overlords like you used to. More hatches being thrown down. We're going to go to 6 hatch. Interesting positioning on these hatches, actually. I wonder if this helps with unit flow. Better than, you know, putting a hatchery here. I guess if you have a hatchery here, if the units can't get through the top side and the eggs block here, it might really screw up the unit flow. So that's something I hadn't really considered. Templar coming up here. Hydras do have to retreat. They're going to come in from multiple angles now. Pretty decent dodge there, but some of the Hydras getting caught on each other. Ends up losing 3 for the cost of 1 storm. Plus a lot of these are badly damaged, or one of them's badly damaged, excuse me. 7 lurkers on the way here on this high ground. He's going to take this position out in the front here. Holding the high ground in the middle of the map is a very strong play as well. 4th base is on the way behind this. And it's going to be tough for Motive to push through and take any reasonable fights here against a Hero. First Storm goes down, but it's only on 1 Lurker. It doesn't even take that out. So Lurker's going to spread forward. The damaged Lurker in the back is exactly how you want to play this. Lurker's going to start hitting here. 2 of the Lurkers get caught up in a single Storm. What if the Hydra's getting taken out here? It's like Lurker Spine's hitting a lot of these Zealots. Zealots really getting ripped apart by these Lurkers. But quite a few of the Lurkers have been picked off now. Just pure Dragoon with a lot of Hydras still remaining. We don't have any Storms here for this fight, and the Archon gets picked off. More and more Dragoons are arriving, and the Hydra number has actually been taken pretty low, so maybe he can push all of this back, but needs a round of Zealots here to make it to the front. He's actually making Dragoons right now, so not going to have that round of Zealots to defend against this upcoming Hydra. Push forward here. Hydra's trying to snipe what they can, but the Dragoon number is a little bit overwhelming at this time. Coming forward, gonna snipe down a few more Dragoons here. 1-1 to 0-1 here for Hero. Dragoon number has reached kind of a critical mass now. We've got, what, 12? 12 of these 12 of these Dragoons. That's a lot of Dragoons to work with. We need some frontline, though, for this. We need some Storms to go with this as well. I'm gonna spread out now here. Make it hard for this, for the Zerg player to come down this ramp, but immediately swinging around the left-hand side getting into position right now is Hero, and Hero just sticking with this Hydralisk Lurker play here, and not getting any further upgrades, just going for +2 attack, not getting into armor, not going for a real late game play here, but getting more bases. So continuing to expand, continuing to grow, but not growing in that tech. He really wants to shut down this third base. He really wants to take big skirmishes here and try to force a Motive out of the game as quickly as possible. Nice snipes on some Dragoons. Every Dragoon snipe is amazing here as a Zerg player, because the Dragoons are really the backbone of the army, what allows them to push through the Lurkers, especially here on high ground. It's going to be tough, though. Counter attack coming in from these Hydras. He kills a couple cannons and runs away. That's a beautiful play. Not taking any unnecessary damage on these Hydras, keeping them as a flanking force for future little covert operations like that, running in and just sniping a few units when the Protoss back is turned. More Lurkers being built on this high ground. You might want to say, hey, why doesn't the Protoss just go around this, or go around here, you know, come down to this base right now? Well, if he tries to do that, by the time he reaches that base of Zerg, this third base will be completely, it'll just be dead. So that's not a risk he's willing to take right now. He's gonna stay here and defend this, and at the same time he's gonna send a small contingent of units up here to try and secure a fourth base, and that'll secure his future in this game. Really, all Motive needs to do, because his army is getting more and more complex and the upgrades are continuing to roll out here, he just needs to survive and get a fourth base before his main and natural run out. That is his main priority. That is his main task at this moment. Hydra's gonna come in here from the north. Motive gonna have to react perfectly here. He loses a couple of cannons, but brings forward the Templar to deal with this. He's done a great job so far of just staying in the right positions here to prevent Hero from getting any snipes. Hero, though, growing like a madman. He's got so much economy. Once the sixth base is really operational, it's going to be out of control. But we do have another base coming up here on the center right, and he's going to try and take this base as well. So if one of these bases goes down, maybe he can still take the other. Storm's going to come forward here. Can he get the good storms? There's a nice storm right there on quite a few of these Hydras, and everything else going to be pushed back. So Motive doing a really good job. He should be able to get cannons over here on the right-hand side, and with a couple of Templar here to defend, pushing through this narrow little choke against cannons and Templar is nearly impossible. So I'm really liking Motive's play so far. He's done a really great job. He's actually behind in supply by quite a bit. But again, this is not looking that great for Hero. He's finally getting into Hive. He's finally continuing his upgrades now. So he will be getting into that late game, but he's delayed it by quite a lot. And he hasn't really done anything with this now maxed out army. Spreading out his overlords all over. I don't know if he has drops yet. He might be wanting to go for that drop play, though. Lings and Hydras coming forward to kind of slow down this push up on the high ground. We've got quite a few Lurkers behind this. So Motive trying to push up here, not the best, I think. Hydra's moving forward, but we've got a Templar here. We've got some cannons to defend. He will be taking this high ground away from Hero right now, but I think the primary importance here is just not to lose too much army right now for Motive. Motive, he's still pushing forward here, but now it's going to fall back as the Zealot and Archon run out. Unfortunately, Dragoons here just going to fight up on a high ground, and a lot of mischance there. He needs to get a transfer of probes down here to the center right, get that base operational before it's too late here, and Hero overwhelms his army. Here we go, coming forward. Great storms on a lot of this. Unfortunately, wasting a couple of storms after the fact. Doesn't have any more storms with this army, so he's got to be really, really careful pushing forward here. You do not want to be losing all these Dragoons. Also, you don't want to be keeping all these Dragoons for that much longer, too, because we're going to have Hive. We're going to have the Dark Storms coming soon. Zealots pushing forward here, going to help out with this fight. Unfortunately, running straight into Lurker spines here. Not really doing the greatest job of pushing this forward. Dragoons taking big fights right now, but the Hydras are mopping them up in large number. Good storms, but there's just way too many Hydras here and falling very far behind now in supply. More than 30 supply behind Hero. He's got some more Templar reaching the field. He has that critical 4th base, but he's lost the position here at the top center. So no 5th base on the way, and Hero going up to a 7th. A 7th base, no, 6th base, excuse me, is on the way now. 6 bases here for Hero, and he's not even mined out of his main or his natural yet, whereas Motive is very close to mining out of both those locations. Got the army moving around the left-hand side here. Looks like Hero's correctly predicted the direction in which Motive would want to take this. The army is too small. Motive, we cannot be fighting right now. Look at how much Zerg is coming down here from the high ground. He's gonna take this fight, but this is not gonna go well. This is not gonna go Motive's way. He's being shoved back onto this high ground. Big losses here, dropping down to 135 supply once again. Ouch. Yeah, you've got to sit back here a little bit longer as Motive. Maybe try to get some storm drops going or something to sort of limit the economy here of Hero, rather than trying to take these big fights, because you know that you're going to end up losing those trades overall. Has just barely enough, it looks like, for some storms. If army comes in, he should have enough energy by then. Some lurkers here on the left-hand side, and this base looks to be getting established here, but the entirety of the map is under the control of the Zerg. Hero maxed out completely once again. He's ready for another big fight. Oh, so many lurker eggs here. The storm. Oh, what a storm. What an insane storm, killing so many lurker eggs, but the army overstays here, and now he's got no storm remaining to shove back this attack. Just lurkers, lings, and hydras shoving through here. Cannons are not going to stand a chance against this. They need storm support. There's the Templar finally making their way up, and immediately Hero going to back away. You can just see the intelligence of Hero in this game. Truly, the way that he plays is so good. He really understands the ebb and flow of the Zerg versus Protoss matchup, realizing that when the storms are gone, I'm free to push forward. I'm free to take as much advantage as I can. But as soon as the storms are there, we need to be careful once again. We need to bait the Protoss into coming out against us, and we can take big fights. And now some of the storms have been thrown down. That was the last storm that was available. So Hero just going to shove forward once again, pushing everything back, forcing him over here onto the cannons once again. Lings and Hydras pulling apart these Dragoons. The cannons are doing a great job, and the Hydras are kind of hitting this assimilator for the most part. So looks like Motive actually gonna hold here, but this was a really close shave, and he's losing some probes now. That assimilator goes down, and this lurker should fall in another couple seconds as we bring forward additional Dragoons to help clean up. Let's take a look at the upgrades here now. Wow, some great upgrades on these Zerg units. Pretty decent upgrades as well on Motive. He's going to be getting into +3 here really soon. He already has +2 armor. I don't see any defilers just yet, and it almost appears that we won't even need defilers in this game. Oh, what a storm there. Okay, there's the defiler actually at the front. He can throw down some Dark Swarm. He could go for Plague as well. Gonna pick off this Archon here. Dark Swarm on this army would be amazing. Dark Swarm right here, though, is the goal. You want to put that Dark Swarm right on top of the base, so you can bring the lurkers and lings forward and force Zealots, Archons, and Templar to try and take them out. 2 more Archons being built here at the front. These cannons can do nothing, though. Looks like he will pick off this lurker with that one single Zealot, and Hydras definitely do nothing against Zealots under Dark Swarm. So a bit of a double-edged sword there, but more lurkers going to come forward now. And Motive is just desperately trying to hang on here. Finally, we've got a drop going so that he can try to pick something off, but the DT is just going to get destroyed by that by that sunken colony there. Really astute play for here to throw down a sunken colony in that location. Another storm going to come down. We've got no more Darkstorm here, so the cannons can actually help out quite a bit. Dragoons shoving forward here, just trying to get rid of these lurkers, but they don't have observer support, so no observer support. Another attack coming through here towards the third base. Looks like Motive going to be losing that position. After losing that position, I don't think there's going to be much hope here for Motive. He's trying to kill everything with storms, but not doing a great job. Most of those lurkers do survive. GG is called. Motive taps out, and Hero just crushing, man. What a god. A Sauron Zerg here on Tempest, overtaking. Like, you can just see how powerful he is in the late game. Once his macro really gets rolling, you need to do so much damage to him to prevent him from getting to this stage, because once he's here, he's got this many hatches rolling. His macro is insane, nearly never slipping away from that 200 supply. Looks like there was a Templar drop down here. It killed some drones, but we've still got 68 drones. We've got this base, we've got this base, we've got so much income coming in here for Hero. Just didn't matter at this point. Motive loses that game, and Hero takes another one. Okay, next up we've got Queen. We're gonna be taking a look at a ZVZ here. See how Hero's doing in this matchup. I'm assuming this is gonna be a great one. I mean, Queen needs no introduction. 0. He's a 2-time ASL champion. Everybody knows this. Incredibly gifted in ZVZ, as you have to be an ASL champion. But I don't know actually what his statistics are, what his best matchups are. Maybe I should take a look. Maybe I should take a look at his best matchups and just figure out, because I think we do have it here. I can look at Hero as well. What am I doing? Let's see. We've got Queen with ZVZ. Yeah, he has the highest win rate in ASL, 54.55%. Good God. Hero is actually third with 53.49%. So Queen just dominant in this matchup. It's going to be very tough to take him out here. Looks like we've got practically mirrored builds between these two guys. 10 drones apiece. And yeah, pretty much exactly mirrored builds. This is like a super standard build in ZVZ. I learned this from Hawk SC. Said to do this build almost every game if you want to practice for ZVZ. Is just overpool and grab the gas immediately after the pool. Start mining gas, throw down your hatchery, you get into ling speed, and you play from there. And it should be with links popping out just in time to deal with the 9 pool speed. If that's what was coming, you can hold it on the ramp. You might have to give up your hatch, but you can just cancel it and take it a little bit later. Maybe throw down a hatch inside the main. Anyway, both players doing almost the same thing except for a small divergence. Queen has decided to go for speed, whereas Hero is going for layer. So Queen gonna have the advantage with the lings here early on. As more and more lings pop out, he will eventually go on the attack, and it'll be up to Hero to deal with that. Ooh, good pickoff. Laughing a little bit there at the scouting ling of Queen, getting sniped right off the bat. And that's already an advantage here to Hero, albeit not a huge one. Both their second hatches are done. Adding on some lings here for both sides. Speed is going to finish up right now, and that's when Queen has the biggest advantage. Going to try to run by here. Hero not going to allow it to happen, but the surround is a little bit better for Queen. He does back away. Thought he was going to take that fight a little bit longer, but more lings going to pop out here for Hero. Hero has his Spire on the way now. The Spire of Queen will be just slightly behind that. So he's going to take the air advantage, but there is still this opportunity where maybe Queen can break him here. He's going to come in once again. Looking for some kills here. Not going to find it. There's the layer finishing up. Spire about to start here. While Queen has to run back and make that Spire, it's a good idea to, go back and make the spire with one of these drones, it's a good idea to start taking an engagement right at that moment with the Ling. So Hero pushing out, taking advantage of that moment, but Queen falls all the way back to his natural. Has managed to slip out one extra drone over Hero here. So we'll see if that ends up being any significance. The overlords are heading away from Hero's base now. No overlords in the vicinity of Hero. So Queen gonna keep his overlords relatively safe. I think you just go for an overlord kill here. I don't think you're gonna be able to make it across the map as Hero with your mutas to get any kills here. Maybe you could get one kill, but it'll be dangerous because Scourge are gonna pump out immediately upon this spire being finished. And once those come out, you might end up losing your first couple of mutas. So gotta be very careful. I think he's still gonna go for it though. He should be rallied straight across the map. Looks like Queen gonna go for a diversionary force here. He's gonna, as the mutalisks are popping, try to come into the natural so that the mutas kind of have to stay here and fight. No real choice about that. Now the Lings are here at the front, just kind of threatening the attack. They might come in for an attack right now. You just can't know for sure. So looks like Hero gonna have to chase these Lings. And in chasing the Lings, it's bought Queen enough time to not lose any drones. Back at home, he's making a bunch of mutas. He has lost quite a few Lings though, so he might be in a little bit of trouble. Hero gonna go for a bit of an attack here, bringing all the Lings together and all the mutalisks together. He might be able to run in here, snipe some drones. Ooh, big group of Lings running straight in. They're gonna go after the drones on the gas in the natural, while 4 break off into the main. Any drone kills here would be insanely impactful. Looks like one drone maybe went down there. No? Okay. Wow. All the drones live. Pretty well done here by Queen. Crisis management there. Absolutely impeccable. He did lose some mining time though. Not constantly mining on this gas, right? And he's actually popped out another drone. So he's ahead in drones right now to where Hero is, but Hero slightly ahead in that supply. Neither player going for any upgrades here on their mutas. Both taking it very cautiously right now. Not wanting to overextend. Some Ling's gonna slip in here. Oh, Hero not really reacting right away. Has to bring the rest of the Lings to bear, and he will push everything back. Coming into the natural, he gets a drone. Evening out that drone count here is super critical. Let's take a look how many mutas there are on either side. Looks like 2 more mutas for Hero at this point, but still a lot of Scourge. It's very dangerous to take a fight here. Which player will decide that the time is right to take this fight? I think that Hero is going to seize this advantage, although it's a very minimal advantage right now. You can see 2 army supply ahead, 2 worker supply behind. So he has like a 3 supply advantage right now. It's all going to come down to this micro. It's so close in that supply. Pretty good volleys here to start things off. And some Scourge connections on both sides so far. Really good chasing here from Hero, killing off a lot of these mutas. Muta's number is still pretty even right now, although there are now more mutas for Hero. The rallies of Scourge come through, and Queen is taken down. Very impressive play here from Hero. Hero handling everything perfectly, taking just a tiny edge here. There was only a few moments where Queen wasn't mining from this natural gas, and I guess that was all the edge that was necessary for Hero to take this win with a very crisp attack here into the natural. Excellent micro. It's so hard to cast those type of situations there because everything happens so incredibly fast. Why don't we go back and just watch things a little bit slow? I've never done this before, guys. I've never tried watching one of these battles in slow motion, but why don't we just give it a shot here? It's not a long battle, and I'm sure there's a lot of different micro decisions that were made in this fight. So let's take it down really, really slow here and just take a look at this fight and see. Oh my gosh. See how things went. So good shot there to open on the Scourge. He dodged away from the Scourge. Both players managed to dodge away for the most part. Looks like one Scourge hit on this side, but he immediately gets another shot here. How many Scourge do we have on either side? Even Scourge, and looks like 2 extra Mutalisks for Hero. So let's see this next fight. Sorry, I'm used to pressing space in order to play. Gets another shot there, killing off more Scourge. Another big shot there. A couple more connections, and I think we're gonna have some connections on these Scourge right here. That Scourge connects. A couple more Scourge connect over here as well. How are we looking on the Mutalisk count? Exactly even. Oh my goodness. We were exactly even at this point. Just 4 more Scourge here. Oh, another Muta pops out. So he's actually ahead in Mutas, but looks like a lot of Mutas got hit with just 1 Scourge. So this next volley is going to probably kill 2 Mutas. It got 1. Another volley is going to kill another 1 or 2 Mutas here. Yeah, he's getting way too many free shots as Queen pulls away. Those moving shots there were probably what ended up doing him in. He's trying to get the Scourge to connect, but great micro there by Hero to pick off those Scourge as they're flying in, changing targets rapidly between the Mutas, chasing the Mutalisks down and then gunning down Scourge, trying to get some shots off here, but Hero with the advantage, just chasing him down, and GG. All right, that's cool. That's very cool. I'm glad we did this little recap. Gonna jump into our next game. All right, next up we've got Light here in the bottom right hand corner. I was gonna show you guys a few games of Hero versus Zealot in ZVZ where Hero just kind of bashed Zealot around, but you know, I think that last game was enough proof that Hero is a strong contender, a strong player in ZVZ. That was basically the best you could ask for, right? Exactly mirrored builds between him and Queen. Nobody got an early advantage. Everything was completely even, and still Hero just out controlling, out maneuvering Queen there. And now we're gonna be checking out some ZVT, how he's faring in this matchup, and who better to test him than Light, who is incredibly strong in this matchup. Let's take a look at his statistics in TVZ. He is actually not as high as you would think. He's actually placed number 9 in TVZ with a 52% win rate. So a lot of other players are much better than him in this matchup. Even C is better than him. Late is better than him in TVZ, or at least has a better win rate than him. Of course, they have less games. JYJ has a lot of games. He's better. Mind is better. Definitely not his best matchup. Maybe his weakest matchup overall for Light. Yeah, definitely his weakest matchup. Whereas, like I was saying before, also a weak matchup for Hero. So both players struggling a little bit in this matchup. We'll see who's able to take a win here. Forward barracks for Light. Could be putting on a bit of pressure here in the early game. I think that's the intention, to go into a factory behind this and just lift off that barracks, depending on how much damage he does here in the early game on Tempest. And a little bit later, we're gonna go into go and check out a game with Hero versus Ample. So actually, Ample has a much better win rate, 58% in ASL games in TVZ. So that'll be interesting to see as well. But first, we have to see how much damage this will do. Can he actually kill this natural? That's gonna be the key here. Ooh, he's gonna get an Overlord? No. Hero, no. Okay, he's gonna bring out all the drones, pulling all the boys here. Looks like one drone's gonna go down. Which drone is going to target second? There's another drone going down. A third drone going to fall here. A fourth would be devastating. He does get it. Unfortunately, Hero not pulling that back far enough away from that Marine, ends up losing it, and now he has taken immense damage here. Immense damage, and behind this we've got Light building a Vulture, so there's really nothing that can be done for Hero to kind of bring himself back easily into this game. He's going to have to build a sunken colony here at the front right now, because otherwise he will just die to this Vulture. A Wraith going to come out as well. Starport, the 1-1-1 build as the follow-up for Light. Just 2 drones mining gas right now on the side of the Hero. He really needs to optimize his mineral income. He's trying to get this kill on the Marine. He does get the kill on the Marine. And I think this Vulture's been slowed down enough. You gotta make this right now. Cannot allow the Vulture to slip by into the main man. It's way too much damage if it does manage to get by here. So he will finish that off in time, getting his econ back online a little bit now. 17 drones are active for Hero. He does need to pull back his overlords though, because we're gonna start losing overlords very rapidly here. Oh, he's gonna go for a drop. Oh boy, this could be devastating. Hero, we'll see if he builds enough Hydras here or not, because we're gonna have a drop of Vultures into the main base. This is such a dirty follow-up from Light. It's brutal. Gonna be so hard for Hero to come back if he takes serious damage from this. Aspire gonna be on the way. I don't like this for Hero. He's trying to switch into Aspire, and what he really needs is Hydralisk speed right now. He needs to get Hydralisk speed. He needs like 6 Hydra maybe, with a few in the main base as well. We've got 3 Vultures at the front. The 4th is going to be popping out here soon. And oh no, no 4th Vulture on the way. So, oh, okay, never mind. 4 Vultures right there. I'm blind. 4 Vultures here are going to get picked up and dropped into the main, and I see 2 Hydras. That's all I see. 2 Hydras. A 3rd Hydra coming into the main base. He's actually suspecting it. I love it. Hero, so smart. But can he block this from doing critical damage? It's going to be so hard to keep his Lings alive. Look at this. He's got a Ling behind the minerals patches here. Okay, he's going to focus down one as quickly as possible. He needs to pull the drones away from this. Do not pull them to that right there. That's the worst possible spot. Okay, the Vultures do run around this top side, so how many has he killed so far? Maybe 2, 3 drones so far have been killed. He's gonna block on the back. Okay, gotta pull the drones away once again. Do not allow them to get picked off here. Gonna go towards the natural now. Hydra gonna be pulled forward here. Try to keep this alive. Oh, just barely out of range. Are you kidding me? Barely out of range of this sunken colony. Not pulling away the drones here at all. Finally does take that out. Whew. Quite painful, dropping down to just 14 workers. A Queen's Nest on the way. What am I looking at? Evolution Chamber Queen's Nest. Hello? What are we doing? Interesting decision here from Hero. After losing basically every drone, he immediately threw down an Evolution Chamber and a Queen's Nest. Very strange decision making here from Hero. He's got enough Hydras to kind of hold off these Wraiths that could come in right now. It's like Scourge gonna fly through, just spot out everything. He sees what the tech is going to be. Might be starting up some turrets here soon. He's probably gonna need some, or at least he thinks he's gonna need some, because there was a Spire, but you know, with a Cloak being done, the Wraiths can basically take a fight anywhere on the map. A Carapace upgrade here is on the way for Hero. He does not have range though for his Hydras, so it's going to be hard to defend these Overlords. Hard indeed. Here comes the Cloak Wraith. Going to come into the main base. They can kill these Overlords very, very quick and then get to work on the drones. Oh man, things are really not looking good for Hero right now. Has Light kind of cracked the code here, figured out the way in which to take down Zerg players. This has been a really painful matchup so far for Hero. Just full control to Light the entire game so far. Hero just constantly reacting, trying to come back in this game. He's gonna start to track down these Wraiths, but he's only got 2 mutas to fight with, so the Wraiths actually do better against that low number of mutas. They're dealing a lot of damage, and they do end up pulling back after killing a couple more drones. A full 20 worker advantage right now for Light. That's so hard to come back from. And what is this follow-up going to be? Some barracks here. He'll be going into possibly, double starport, science vessel production with a bunch of barracks. I don't think you're going to need to build tanks here. There's really no reason. He's seen the inside of the base here from Hero. He saw that there was a hive. He saw that there was an evolution chamber, so it's got to be some sort of weird play. Maybe going directly for Lurker and Defiler, try to do some sort of big attack with Hydralisk Defiler at the front. I guess that might be the plan. It's going to be hard to pull off, though, without, Overlord speed here. If you don't have Overlord speed, you're not going to be able to push across the map with the Defiler because the Wraiths will just cloak and kill it. So that's not good. Couple of mutas moving out on the map, and we've got a base in the bottom left being taken now. So here we're gonna try to find a third base, but it's pretty darn late. Excuse me, guys. I apologize. I've been having a really sore back today. I spent about 8 hours yesterday researching and putting together the video on Stormgate that I just recently released. And ever since I got in that car accident where I got hit while I was riding a motorcycle, my back has been pretty darn sore. It's really vulnerable to getting injured, to getting sore. So sitting down for a few hours and trying to pump out a video it's ended up hurting my back pretty bad. So I'm in that stage right now, and probably some of you guys know this is when you're afraid to cough or sneeze because you know it's gonna really hurt your back. Now I'm kind of in that situation right now. It definitely sucks, guys. I've never had a lot of back pain. Even though I did a lot of sports when I was younger, I managed to avoid getting injured, but now I'm feeling the injury here pretty badly with my back. So I definitely have a lot more sympathy for friends and family members who had back pain. It's not a fun thing to deal with. And in this game, we've got Lurkers down here in the bottom left, but I don't think this is going to be very good for Hero with the tanks coming up as well. We've got Fire Bats coming down here. We've got, what is this? 3 Irradiates ready to go. So I think he's got Irradiate. He should just 1, 2, 3 Irradiate all 3 of these and just wait. Oh, there's a Defiler. Okay, so he does have a Defiler at least. He can hold this off. He's going to be able to... Oh my god. There's so many Irradiates here. I think this is too much, actually. He's going to Irradiate every single Lurker. We don't have any more Lurkers, guys. There's no more Lurkers. He's just going to bring out Lings here and try to hold. Darkstorm goes down here, but just pure Ling. And we've got tons of Fire Bats in here. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hold on. Light's played a brilliant game here, and he's going to get in on this. 9-9. I don't know what that is. Kind of like GG. I guess upside down GG. Hero probably feeling a bit salty about that one. He got pretty masterfully pulled apart here by Light in this game. Light trying a less common style these days, which is of course that 1-1-1, but adding using it with the 8 racks is very powerful. You get all that early pressure with the 8 racks, and then you're going into vultures, and then the vulture drop was killer, and then the wraiths come in, they deal a bunch of damage. It's just a combo punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, knocking through Hero, knocking down his overall economy, and punching him out here with this haymaker in the bottom left, taking him down. Okay, our next game, Ample, as promised. He's going to be coming out here, has a fantastic win rate against Zerg, 58%. It's not like a last or a flash But 58% is pretty decent. Now compare that to Hero's 47% win rate versus Terran in ASL. And Apple's looking pretty darn good in this match. This will be a real challenge for Hero. Hopefully he doesn't get punished in the early game like he did there against Light. Like really making his life a living hell in that last game. I've been in those situations before, and it makes Terran look so OP if you can get that early damage. Maybe a lot of that coming down to the early damage, you know, the mistakes in the micro with the drones at the start of that. You know, fending off the 8 racks, you really need to lose less than 3 drones. If you can get away with only losing 1 or 2, you're going to be in a much better economic position to, you know, start building Hydras and defend against that Vulture run by or Vulture drop that's going to come from Light in that situation. Also, he decided to go for a Spire there. Had he just skipped the Spire and gone only for Hydra for a little bit longer, he wouldn't have had a great opportunity to counterattack, but at least he probably could have slipped out a few more Hydras, and the more Hydras you have in that situation, maybe even Hydra speed as well. Get Hydra speed, you have a few more Hydras, you can handle that that drop a lot easier, and that just makes everything more feasible in the late game. But it didn't end up working. I don't know what that crazy hive was, that hive tech, like right into Queen's Nest after losing all those drones. It seemed wild, but I guess it was a Hail Mary play from Hero. He needed to get that going so that he could stand some sort of chance of holding onto a third base, but didn't pay off. And now we're here in our next game with Ample getting a wall at the front, but not throwing down a command center here just yet. What does he have planned? He's got 500 minerals, so maybe just being a bit slow right now. Look at that Hero with 550 APM. No, 580 APM. Man is spamming up a storm right now. And he saw the wall in here. It's gonna know it's a pretty standard play from Ample. Ample in there with the SCV as well. It only sees 2 links, so Hero's been able to optimize his build pretty well here. And it's kind of looking like a 2.5 hatch, but we'll see where Hero wants to go with this. Where are the best locations to expand here as Hero for third base? It is a 3-player map, and there are no high ground bases around, but bottom right-hand corner, if you get some lurkers right here, it's pretty difficult to pop through this, to fight through that little area. It's not a very easy choke to make it through with a bunch of Marines against lurkers, so that may be defendable enough. Maybe he wants to go for that. Also, the center left over here, a lot of players will try to hold that, but I've seen so many Terrans like Barracks bust through those defensive positions despite it looking very strong. There is quite a bit of surface area there. And if you're good at spreading your Marines and running into a position like that and targeting, you can kill the lurkers off pretty quickly and break that spot. So it's a little tough here on Apocalypse for Hero in the mid game. Where is he going to take that base? We'll have to see here coming up. Spire is on the way. The third hatch is here. So does that 2.5 hatch play out of Hero. Looking to get a decent drone saturation going here so he can really benefit from those additional larvae. Having the extra economy is critical here for the 2.5 hatch to be worthwhile. You need at least 1 drone for every patch, I would say, in order to, you know, really benefit from the extra larva here. Looks like he's just shy of 1 for each patch. I think he needs just 1 more drone, and there it is right there. 1 more drone going to be popping out here to make sure that all the patches are saturated, and that's really the saturation point for Zerg. Anything more than that, you're really getting into like a later game situation in this matchup. But Zerg are very happy to just have 1 drone per patch. And with 7 Mutalists on the way, Hero gonna count this as a win here in the early game, I think. He's managed to keep the Marine Medic back. Not moving out on the map here is Ample, going up to a 4 Rax play. We'll see if he wants to throw down a 5th Rax, or what does he want to do here. Okay, just some turrets coming up. He's securing his barracks here and really pumping out this Marine Medic production. I don't know if Hero has any idea about the build here, but he's going to get in with his mutas and find out about that pretty darn soon. +1 and range. Going to make this Marine Medic push out very, very strong. So I think that the moment that he spots this, Hero's going to throw down a Hydralisk Den, if I had to guess. And it looks like he's going to take the base down in the bottom right. So taking that base, we'll see how well he can hold on to that position. I don't see a Hydralisk Den in production just yet. Pure Ling Muta here coming out. +1 is about to finish. Doesn't want to take this fight just yet, but will if he has to. Stimming up and getting ready. Hero maneuvering around the outside of this, looking for any free units that he can pick off, but Ample just not giving him an opportunity. Really good control here by both sides so far. Baiting out another stim. Energy is still very high on these medics. They've been gaining that energy for quite some time. Running into the natural now. Gonna gun down some of these Marines as they were not in the bunker. Good pickoffs there. Really lowering that Marine count. But did manage to bleed off some mutas. This Marine Medic group here in the middle of the map is in a precarious situation now. It wanted to go out and put some more pressure. Preferably onto the 3rd base of Hero. But it looks like Hero gonna bring forward enough Lings and mutas to actually clean this up completely. He's lowered the Marine count enough now to where he can one-shot everything without taking too much damage, and all of the medics will be clean. So upon taking that fight, he immediately threw down the Hydralisk Den and Queen's Nest, realizing that he was going to be able to eliminate Ample's presence on the map. That is the point where taking putting down these 2 buildings is going to be optimal here. Slowing down this factory at all is so critical for Hero. Getting this building slowed down, it hurts Ample very, very much. It's going to slow down his starports. It's going to slow down his science facility. It's going to slow down those irradiates, which are eventually going to be coming out and kind of helping Ample to break any positions out on the map. So where are the starports going to be thrown down here? I don't see them just yet. There they are. Coming in and slowing this down will also be incredibly useful to Hero, who is now at 41 drones to the 40 of his opponent. Evolution chambers on the way here, starting to get those Carapace upgrades going. You can see where Hero's head is at. He wants to get into a 4th base and eventually make his way up to some Ultralisk play. Defending with Defiler and Lurker here in the mid game will be the key to success. Coming in, trying to get some free shots here. Ample not quite giving it to him, picking off a few Marines, but the time of the Muta is slowly inching closer to the end here. We have 2 starports finished. We're going to be starting our science facility here shortly, and then we'll begin science vessel production. Once those irradiates are out, the mutas will no longer be the most powerful thing on the map. Nidus Canal down here in the bottom right. He does need to get lurkers into this position ASAP. Otherwise, he may not be able to hold on. Even with lurkers down here, it is still breakable. If you try to run by, like if your lurkers are too far over here, you can run by here. If your lurkers are too far over here, you can spread over here, take a good fight. You've really got to put it in the perfect position, and this is looking pretty darn good. That is tough to break through here as the Terran player. Getting past this is nigh impossible with just pure medic Marines. So Hero's done a good job so far. He's got himself in a good position, but this game is not even close to over at this point. There's still plenty of play here for Ample, who's now starting his science vessel production. He's going to be getting into a radius here. Okay, not what you want to do, but not the end of the world here. Just a couple of Mutalisks going down. That's too many Marines, though, for Ling Muta to actually take a good fight against. I think he's identified that. He's like, whoa, You got a lot there, bud. I don't think I want to take that fight anymore. So backing away here. Looking for other areas that he can deal some damage. Now that everything has been locked tight, you don't really need to meet us on the defense, except for, of course, drop defense is very important to keep an eye on. He's got a great spread of Overlord so far. Do need to make sure that this little area here, don't have anything slipping through there. That would be really, really painful if you didn't see dropships coming because of this tiny little sliver over on the left-hand side, but happens to the best of them, for sure. You don't have that perfect Overlord scouting. Sometimes a dropship slips through, gets a huge, huge drop in the back of the main base or something like that. That can be devastating. If you don't see it coming, you're not prepared. Dark Swarm's gonna come down here at the front. Couple other Radiates go down on some Lurkers, but not the highest value targets here to irradiate. You do prefer to get some Irradiates on a Dark, or on a Defiler here. Oh, that Lurker was actually outside of the Dark Swarm. That's a little bit of a mistake. Ooh, great job, though, bringing up the Lings to actually body block these Marines that are trying to escape. And damn, Hero with confidence pushing out here to take this base. If Ample had run by, this could have been really scary, right? He had this big group here. If he'd run by through here as those Lurkers died from the Irradiates, he might have been able to get some serious damage, but instead, full retreat from Ample. He keeps the majority of his Marine Medic alive. Does lose a few units, but still has this very powerful force out here on the map. So, bit of tit for tat there, back and forth between the two. No real damage being done on either side. Both players still growing here into the mid and late game. We've already got 3 bases up now for Ample. The 4th is on the way for Hero. Holding that with just 2 Lurkers. Keeping Lings on top of this. I think you can still click that. Yeah. You can still click that. Looking for new ways to body block on top of that. Does he actually have Lurkers underneath this? No, he doesn't. He should be putting the Overlords over top of the Lurkers here. That is a very strong play. But here it seems just more intent on building up into a massive Hydralisk army, and I'm actually completely incorrect here. Oh wait, actually no, never mind. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. I thought we were maybe going for Hydra Defiler here, but it appears that in a few moments time we're gonna have Ultras starting to pop out, and here's the weak spot here for Hero. It's been identified by Ample. You got to be very careful to keep this base alive right now. You really want that fourth gas to come online here. Super important that does end up coming up so that you can actually get into your Ultralisk as promised. Those Ultras need to be coming out here pretty soon. Another Nidus Canal coming up. It's going to be for the front of the space, a little bit closer to the front at least. Maybe here would be a good spot. Maybe here. I don't know about this side over here. You got to be worried about, you know, maybe tanks sieging up and killing it. There's always the fallback Nidus in the main base, but you want to put that in a position where it can't easily be picked off. So here we're going to drop that down. Yeah, right there. Right in the natural here, between the natural and the main. And I think you can still slip by with Ultra here, right? You should be able to slip by. Maybe the drone's going to block a little bit. That could be annoying. We'll see. Ling's coming out on mass here. Really Hero getting into his macro game now. Mass Ling everywhere. Oh, 4 dropships coming into the main, but 2 Scourge going to connect on each of these drops, and all of them get picked off so quickly. Ample getting destroyed here. Immediately running into the natural, though. Not able to get through, though, before the Defiler throws down its Dark Swarm. So this is something we've seen before from Terran players. I think Ample specifically is he'll go for a drop and try to bust the front at the same time. Unfortunately for him, the drop got shut down so completely that Hero was ready for this attack here in the front. He was able to switch gears and drop that Dark Swarm here at the front in time to prevent the bust through. And now Ample is in a world of hurt, man. He is not looking good here. He's got 154 supply behind in supply to where Hero's at. We're going to come out with some defilers looking for some big plagues. Could get a massive plague on a lot of these armies, or get on a lot of these science vessels, but he misses. He actually goes for the Marines instead. And I guess I'll change the colors here now so we can see a little bit better the plague on these units. Defiler did make its way over here to the front, though. That's a lot of tanks. Wow. Switching fully into tanks right here. Gotta be careful not to lose all of these. The tank count is going to be crucial. He needs to get a big tank count going. Great plague on a lot of these. This is painful, painful stuff for Ample right now. He's actually getting broken right in his natural. All his army's sitting up here in the top. He didn't leave anything out in front of the natural, and it's left a big corridor here for Hero to send army straight into Ample's face. Ample not sending this army over either. Making some big mistakes in this game. Has lost the majority of those tanks that he's building up over time. He had like 5 tanks. Now he's got 2. And he's lost one of his factories as well. More and more units spilling over here. You got to get into this position here with your army. Get over here and stop the flow of ultras and lings into your main base. That's got to be a priority right now to shut that down. Ultra here in the natural. Should be killed. Another ultra making its way over here to the main. Ultra speed is about to finish. We've got +2, but +3 just hasn't quite finished up yet. We're getting mines as well. So I think the idea is eventually to switch over into full-on mech here for our Terran player, but I don't know, maybe not. I don't see an attack upgrade coming for the mech. So without attack being upgraded, you're never going to be able to do a full switch into mech. You really need to get those attack upgrades rolling if you want any hope of being able to do that. Marine medic kind of sparsely thrown around the left-hand side. He cuts off that angle of attack, and Hero's found a fresh one. He's managed to bring army out from the natural. This corridor is open. He's going to be able to get in there, deal some more damage here. It's like the tank's getting more kills on these SCVs than the Ultralisk could. Does end up getting picked off at the end. The mines are starting to be thrown down here. Going to be able to deal well with a lot of these lings. But some are still going to be able to slip by. Okay, nicely done. Nicely done. Oh, big plague on a lot of these Marines. Another Ultra making its way into the natural. +3 attack is done, though. Ample on the back foot here. Hasn't been able to shut down any bases. Another base in the top right. Double expand on either side of the map. I love this. I love this from Hero. That's a lot of Marine medic, though. And Ample should be able to fight this back. Oh, big plague should be coming down here. Dark Swarm comes down. Plague on half this army. We're going to end up losing the majority of these Marine medics out on the map. And yeah, so many of them go down. This is maybe the killing blow here. Just massacring this Marine medic army, dropping him down to 130 supply, whereas Hero's just about maxed out at this point. Trying to throw down desperately some mines out in the front. Trying to build up this tank count. Has another big group of Marine medic. You know, he's still got a lot of barracks to work with. So he can really pump out a lot of Marine medic. I don't see a defiler with this, but so many of these science vessels are going to go down. That's a really big loss here. Great mine drag there into a bunch of these tanks and vultures as well. Limiting that tank count is the #1 priority here for Hero. Don't allow Ample to get back on his feet in this game. If he manages to get a really high tank count, he could manage to bring things back, but since that's been eliminated time and time again, I think that Ample is just about out of this game with Dark Swarm right in his face here over at his base. He's not going to be able to find a way to bring himself back here. Ling's just killing this machine shop, making it impossible for him to continue to produce tanks now. More and more Marines popping out here, but the waves and waves of Zerg coming across the map. He's even going to bring forward the Mutas finally. Go after these science vessels. Looks like a couple of irradiates going to go down on these to stop them from killing the science vessels, but vessels are going to go down. Lings are breaching in every location, and GG. Sauron Zerg once again just overcoming with mass army breaking through the Terran defenses. An incredible game here from Hero against Ample, who should on paper have an advantage. He's a very strong player, has a great win rate in this matchup, but that drop, man, completely wrecked by Hero. And after that, the momentum was completely in his favor. Just think about how many supply that was. It's 2, 4, 6, 8 supply for all the medevacs. And what is it, 8 Marines and medics per vessel, or per dropship, excuse me. Somebody do a quick calculation. I'm not going to try and do it on stream. Anyways, we're going to go into the next game. Let's jump forward. All right, guys, now I remember which game that was. It was Soma versus Ample, where Ample tried that same trick as the last game, hitting with 4 dropships and hitting the front at the same time. And that game is on my channel as well. Maybe I'll put a link in the description for you guys. You can check it out. I think it got criminally few views. That's one of the best games of the year, I think. I think it got something like 1,000 views on YouTube for that replay. And that was a badass game, a really, really good game from both players. Soma hanging on for a crazy amount of time, and Apple really pulling out some cool tactics, especially with Battlecruiser. Anyway, I won't go on. We've got Rich down here in the bottom right. We've got 2 games between Hero and Rich. We're on Retro. We're going to be finishing up this investigation and this deep dive here into Hero's most recent match history with this little series. And then I've also got a Hmong game to finish things off. So we've got a pool here. It's like a 10 pool, or a... You got the pool, and then make a drone, then make a extractor, then make another drone, cancel the extractor, then make an overlord. And that's going to allow him to make 6 slings right as this finishes up. As soon as the overlord pops, spawning pool will finish, 6 slings will come out, and he should be able to put on some good pressure, although he does see the forge. So when you see the forge, you know that, well, he's going to make double cannon. As long as he makes double cannon, he's going to be fine. So yeah, 2 drones and 1 set of lings. Now, does he make the double cannon or not? Yes, he does. 2 cannons here at the front. And he sees the 2 drones. Does he cancel 1 cannon? Yes, he does cancel 1 cannon. So 1 cannon going to be canceled here. Realizing that the lings are not coming to pressure, he will let the 1 cannon finish. But this is all nice back and forth here between Rich and Hero. The early game gave the opportunity for Hero to put pressure on with the lings. We saw the double cannon get thrown down in response to that potential for pressure, but once he spotted with the probe, it was only going to be the 2 lings. He was able to cancel the 2nd cannon. The Overlord gave him that information that he wasn't really going to get that damage, so he did not make those extra lings. Yeah. Interesting back and forth here to start things off. Both players optimizing their builds very nicely. And third base here had to be taken first. Natural was taken a little bit later just because of this probe harassment. That's just a symptom of having the probe scout you first. You do have to kind of deal with the probe and its ability to block your hatchery. So I don't think this is going to throw Hero off at all. He's a very strong player. Should be able to handle it no problem and get into his game, which is going to be a Hydralisk Den. Look at that. Hydra Den here. Thinking about maybe doing a little bit of a Hydra bust, perhaps? What are we thinking here, Hero? He sees this Cybernetic core. It's not the greatest wall to bust. You know, this is not a vertical wall. It is a horizontal wall. It's a bit easier to hold on to your forge. You just put 2 cannons here, maybe even a cannon there. You should be able to keep that forge alive as long as you see this coming. It shouldn't be a problem. He's sending out a zealot already on the field. Well, we only have 4 lings, or 2 lings here so far. Another 4 popping out soon. So he should be able to get past this with the zealot, right? The zealot should be able to run up. And with Hydralisk in production already, I think I saw Hydra in production, or did I? Maybe I didn't. Okay, no Hydras in production. We've got enough Lings now to maybe shut down the Zealot. Zealot actually going to head back home. So he's being conservative here with the Zealots. But he's going to get up here to the 3rd base with the probe. And he sees 3 drones. Okay, 4th drone pops. That's not giving you that much information. Seeing a 4th drone pop might throw you off as to what's going on here, but it is going to be that 973. We've got 7 drones. We've got 4 drones. And we've got 9 drones. So he's going to do the 973 with an extra hatch. So this is just slightly more mineral or more economic. Slightly more economic. It gives you a tiny bit of an out in case you do want to switch over here back into economy. If you want to switch over and try to, you know, just kill the wall and then play things out a little bit more normally, there is that option. I don't like the Overlord flying out here. I really want to see him send that to the natural. We're going to have Corsairs out here in a minute, and if you do lose your one of your Overlords here, and this one probably is going to get lost, there's no real way to defend it, that's potentially going to shut down your Hydraless bust. He's going to see the Hydras now. He's got cannons on the way. First Hydra going to run down here, get a few pot shots on that cannon. Cannon gets a shot back. Shots fired here on both sides. And he's ready to defend the forge, but that's not enough cannons just yet. There are more Hydras popping. 5 more in production, so he really does need to pull off of gas. Okay, he's only got 1 worker in that gas, so that's pretty good. Just get in on as many cannons as you can. 1 cannon goes down immediately. Running forward here, another cannon does fall. Oh god, this is getting dangerous. This is getting very dangerous here for our Protoss player. The cannon goes down, but he really needed to be throwing down, you know, 2-3 more before this point. Before we even got to this point. Another forge needs to go down in the main base. He doesn't have one. No, he doesn't even have a forge. He might be dead. Actually, I think he's 100% dead here. Gonna run forward, kill off a few more cannons. There's a 1 more cannon. That cannon's gonna go down. That cannon's gonna go down, and GG is called. A nice quick Hydra bust here from Hero. He did have the option to switch out of this. You can see he's got Hydras, a few here and there, but he's actually switching back into drones. So maybe this is a modified Hydra bust for the latter, right? If you're gonna go for Hydra bust in ASL, you just go all in, right? You go 973 and you go absolutely all in and you try to bust. I think that 1 drone popping out might have actually thrown Rich off, but that was just for a couple of returns of minerals, and then he was gonna throw down this 4th hatch to give himself a more economic position to work with a little bit later on, had this Hydraless bust not worked. And a neat build here from Hero. I might try this out myself. Heading on a couple of extra drones. Still going for the Hydraless bust, but having the extra hatchery for that larva. You can see he can really boost up his overall drone count very, very quickly with the amount of larva that he's got. He's already going to be at 30 drones here in a couple more seconds. Drop a couple more hatches. Get that layer going. And he should have had a decent economic position for the mid game. We've got 1 more game between Rich and Hero. It is a bit of a longer game, so let's jump into that now. All right, same matchup, same map here, though we do have cross spawns this time. See if Hero wants to do another Hydra bust, or if Rich is as fearful of that, or more fearful. I'm not sure, because you just got Hydra bust by Hero. You definitely do not want to have that happen again. It's less likely to happen here on cross maps, but it's still a distinct possibility. Will he go for another Forge Fast opening? Seemed like a good idea that last game. Looks like he is going to switch it up, though. Gateway opener is going to be the option here. Dead giveaways, you send that probe back to get another mineral. And you don't send it out to scout right away. He's going to scout after the gateway goes down. And he's going to try to put on some pressure here. But again, it is cross map, so with Hero going for this overpool, you're definitely not going to be able to put on too much pressure to your opponent. Hero is just going to get some early lings out, push away that Zealot, maybe even put on some pressure of his own here at the front of the Protoss base. Although it takes so long to get across the map again, there's going to be another Zealot here. With cross map, you're going to have, you know, your second, third Zealot's going to pop out before the Lynx can really get over here and force, and that's when it becomes difficult for the Zerg to really do anything. Put some damage on one of these buildings or something. Maybe try to slip by. Like, what you want to do is you want to start hitting one of these buildings. Force the Zealot, because there will be one Zealot here, one probe here. You have one Zealot here. So you start to deal some damage to the gateway with like 3-4 lings, and you threaten over here to run by. If the Zealot, you know, comes around, you try to surround that and kill it. If the second Zealot comes down to help, then you try to run by with your lings, and you've only got a few seconds to kind of work with because that third Zealot will pop out, and in this case you have even less time to work with because you are in cross map and you're going to be arriving later. So that's the way we're probably going to see things go here. Lings coming across now. Just 2 lings, though. Not really overcommitting to the ling number. He's going to be popping up to 6 lings now. Ooh, 8 lings. Okay. Maybe he wants to put on some pressure here. He's actually not seen the front just yet, so he does now see that there's a gateway. Zealot slipping in here towards the third. Now going to come down to the natural. Seeing this many lings, though, immediate turnaround here. He's probably going to hide behind the mineral patches here. No, going to head back home. Interesting choice. Third Zealot's about to pop out. This third Zealot will be able to push away these lings. As you can see, Zealot and Probe, as expected, on this ramp. And Rich going to send that ling, or that Zealot, back home to deal with these lings. He wants to have at least the bare minimum of 3 Zealots to fight this back, right? 1 for the ramp, 2 for the natural here to defend, to push back these lings. You're going to be fine, just fine, chasing the probe, threatening with these lings, keeping some lings back at home just in case there's a Zealot on the map that might have slipped by. Definitely don't want to allow that to get out and, you know, find a location where it can maybe hit some drones. So now that everything's locked down, we've got 4 Zealots back at home. Cybernetics core here in the front. We've got the Forge in the back. Optimizations here for Rich. Hydra Den on the way for Hero. Hero does want to go for another Hydra bust here. We'll see if he does that same kind of trick we saw in the last game with 4 drones into a hatchery. Because like I said, it should transition him a little bit easier out of the Hydralisk bust, having the extra larva. But I'm not sure. We'll see here. 3 Zealots moving out. You know, maybe that that extra drone was made more of a reaction that the probe hadn't died yet. I'm not sure. This is a Ling. No 4th drone here just yet. 973 is ready. Yeah, no 4th drone and no a hatchery here either. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna build another hatch? What's happening? Ling's coming up here. Looks like they are gonna trap this. Ooh, it's actually Ling speed. So Ling speed is done. This is an interesting Hydra bust. This is a different one. We've been talking about this a lot lately on the channel. This is the Ling speed Hydra bust, where you get Ling speed early, you kill the probe, and it really looks like you're planning on going into a lair and getting a Spire out to deal with this Corsair. But actually, you're just going for a straight up 973 Hydra bust. You're going to hit this. Oh, he does. He does build the 4th hatch. Big Hydra bust here, but with Lings at the front to push back the Zealots. And it's a very strong bust against the Gateway First Openers. Gateway First Opener really shuts down the 973 very well because you have those extra Zealots to buy time for the cannons. The Hydras can't really get in there and break this before the cannons finish. So you bring the Lings forward to block the Zealots, so that you can run up with the Hydras and kill all of the cannons. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking for here. That's what Hero's going to be looking for. He's popped out quite a lot of Hydras. He's getting that range. He's getting into a lair though now, and 2 more hatches. So interesting. Hero here playing an economic kind of fake Hydraless bust style. Is he gonna grab these drones? What's going on? These drones all gonna go all the way to the front? That's not a very professional move. There we go. Okay, sending them back now. That's quite a bit of lost mining time, but I guess it's okay. Trying to position your Hydras here at the front can be a little bit tough, making sure they don't take any cannon damage. Oh god, Rich is really cutting it close here. 3 cannons only? Holy crap. Okay, you know, he's seen everything here at the main base. He knows that we've transitioned now. No more Hydras are popping out just yet. We're getting missile attacks. We're getting layer. Everything points towards a transition for Hero. So I guess Rich feels safe sitting here with 3 cannons, but I would absolutely not be. This is like, oh my god, you're just daring the Zerg player to come here and break you. And it seems like Hero's not going to take that. He's not going to dive on that. He already has this planned out. 6 hatch Hydra will be the follow-up. Will he throw down a Spire, though? That is the real question. Will we see a Spire? If he drops a Spire here, he could switch into Mass Muta and snipe down the Templar, because we only have 2 Corsairs. With only 2 Corsairs, you really cannot stop the snipes on those Templar. They're just gonna get picked off. There's nothing really you can do about it. Great SimCity here for Hero. So hard to get in against this with the Lynx, especially at the front. A lot of Hydras here behind as well. Doing a great job kind of getting into his macro game. Should be blocking this ramp as well, but it's fine. There's enough Hydras there to deal with everything. Zealots are just being forced back. He didn't lose his upgrade as a plus here for Rich. You know, he didn't put the forge in the front. He's going to be getting his 3rd base pretty effectively here. However, now Hero's moving out on the map, and this is a scary force to be taking on right now. That is a huge amount of Hydras. He's going to cut this off as well. Great blocking here. Zealots are going to get on top of a lot of this. Maybe kill off quite a few of these Hydras, but really cutting down the Zealot number by quite a lot. Good job by Hero. Getting in on top of that, trading that out. Now he's going to see that indeed this next base is finished. This 3rd base is done. No probes have been transferred just yet, but no cannons here at the front. Only 3 cannons. This is a very limited number of cannons. Can he get the Storm? Nice Storm there on the right-hand side. Gonna make an Archon immediately. We've got another Storm here. Oh my god, what a Storm it was. Just decimated, just destroyed here with that Storm. Hero gonna be on the back foot now. More and more Hydras coming up, though. I think that we're gonna regret only having 3 cannons here eventually as Rich coming forward with the Zealots, but the Hydras are in high enough numbers. It makes it really hard for him to fight. Woo, great Storm there again, and Hero not retreating through the Storm, just standing and fighting. Probably the right choice in that situation, but he lost a lot of Hydras to that. More Storms out here. Does he have one? No, he does not. He's got 1 Archon. Quite a few Zealots. They do not have +1 armor just yet. And +1 attacks is finished. Here comes the Spire. Spire is on the way. We've got the High Templar here. It should be right there, though. Looks like he is going to move it up a bit. Make sure that in case any Hydras try to run up this ramp, he has the Storm available to help the cannons to defeat that force. Big round of drones here for my man Hero. Really pumping up that economy while the Spire is on the way. Getting into a big old group of drones. He tried to break through. He tried to make something happen here, but pretty much failed. As far as Rich is concerned, that was a big success here, holding back that attack and getting his 3rd base online. Exactly what he wanted to do. And now Hero gonna go for it a late game very, very soon. 4th base on the way here in the bottom right. It'll be up to Rich to deny that. He'll have to get down there with some zealots or something to try and pick that off. Meanwhile, Hero should be sending some reinforcements down there. Get something down there for lurker, like maybe put 3-4 lurkers on this high ground. Maybe have a Hydra ready here to block. That's really what you need in these situations. You don't need, you know, an entire army down there. You just need the bare minimum to make it hard enough for Protoss to get up that ramp that they're not going to try it. And if they do try it, you can come around the side and kind of trap them here in the bottom corner against this and against this corner here. I'm going to come forward with the Hydras. This is a pretty scary force that Rich is moving out with now. A lot of Zerg players will die at this moment. You just don't have that much left over. After those early attacks, you haven't really gotten fully into your macro yet. Another round of drones coming up, going up to 57. He actually needs more hatches, I think, if he's going to go up this high in his overall drone count. He's sending the drones down to the bottom right-hand corner. Once that is online, it's going to be very strong. Bunch of mutas flying into the main. This is a big distraction tactic, and I think it's going to work out pretty well here. He's forced a bunch of Dragoons back. Just sending the Dragoons, Rich going to send the rest of the army out on the map. So if he was to send like 4-6 Zealots down to the bottom right, he could just straight up kill this. And it would be so worth it for Rich. But Rich doesn't know about that base yet, it seems. And that's going to cost him. That is going to cost him big time. Had he sent army down here, he could have killed a bunch of these drones. He could have stopped this base potentially. But now he's not going to be able to do either of those things. Pure layer tech army here from Hero. He's going to try and snipe some Storms, snipe some Templar. 1, 2, 3. All 3 Templar go down. Beautiful snipes here from Hero. And absolutely godlike macro here. Still able to, with just 6 hatch, keep his minerals to a minimum. Not even producing any of these lurkers just yet, fighting purely with Hydra, but there are no storms for this army. Zealots are going to come forward and get wiped up. Hero dealing with this army easily and shoving it back. Dragoons are going to get caught here on the middle of the minerals. Okay, they do kind of slide around that mineral patch pretty quickly and doesn't take too much damage. Might lose 1 Dragoon on the backside on the exit here. 2 Dragoons potentially. Looks like he does get that 1 more Dragoon. We've got another Storm here though. Actually quite a few in this Templar. As it comes up, he looks like he pulled it away from this base. So now this base a bit vulnerable here. You do need a Templar at that location. Otherwise Hydras and Lings can run up here and actually take this out. So it's a bit scary. Finally sending a probe to the bottom right. Now he sees it. That's a little bit late. Rich could have shut this down potentially before, but underestimating Hero, not thinking that he had that base up already. You really got to send your Zealots around just to check, just to make sure that more bases haven't been taken and that you can't just kill them easily before they really get set up. Now there's a whole bunch of Hydras over here. Now he can make a lurker on the ramp. This is a scary situation for Rich, who's trying to take a 4th base. Beautiful storms here though on all these Hydras. My god, those storms were so deadly. Another storm here gonna come down. Oh my gosh, the storm's so good right now, and the Dragoon number is still high enough. I think we can take fights, but the Dragoons do need to be microed a little bit back away from these Hydras, not to take too much damage here. Hydras coming up onto this high ground. 4th base will be shut down for now. Dragoon's just gonna have to come up here and shut this Hydra attack down. There we go. He does get rid of that. Pylon should be available for some cannons to be made here shortly. Another base on the way here for Hero as the Corsairs all get picked off. Don't want to be losing Corsairs. You know, Corsair is one of those things that should always be active on the map, right? Here's some Overlords over here. There's one over there. There's one there. You know, here's a good Overlord to pick off. There are some Scourge around, so you got to be careful, but you could almost always be picking off Overlords with these late game Corsairs if you manage to keep them alive. But he lost the majority of them. And also scouting. Scouting's so important. You want to see if he's taking this. You want to see when he's taking this, of course. It's already been taken. This has already been taken, so it's a little bit late now. I don't know if Rich is going to be able to break through. He is still quite far ahead in that supply. 50 supply advantage here. But is it going to be enough? Can he shove through? Fourth base is up before the main or the natural mine out. That's just pretty much exactly what you want as a Protoss player. Just a few probes mining in the main, a few in the natural, and full saturation at the third and fourth. And that's going to give our Protoss player the power to move out with a big army and continue to macro and max out as he fights here, as he skirmishes with the Zerg in the middle of the map. Gotta be careful with these observers. They do have that speed now, so they are a bit easier to handle, a bit easier to maneuver. But coming through towards the middle of the map, that's quite a lot of Templar to work with. Some storms being thrown down. Hydras here at the bottom side getting ravaged by the storms, and the Dragoon numbers are very, very high right now, along with these storms. Where are the Lurkers, my man? Lurkers are just not present. The Zealots are doing a great job eating damage for these Dragoons, but a little bit of a flanking force coming through here for Hero. He's managed to kill a lot of these Dragoons on the bottom side without Zealot support. The Dragoons go down very, very fast. Templars still alive here, but they don't have energy for another storm. There's one more storm getting thrown down. Hydra's being pushed back, but the Dragoon number has been gutted here. Not enough Dragoons anymore to initiate a full-on assault. Does need to get another wave of Dragoons out. So far, just producing Zealots back at home here. Has the good number of gateways here to work with. A lot of money coming in from these 4 bases now. Storm's going to be crucial here. Great storms on a lot of this. GG. Oh my goodness. Hero taps out without making a single lurker this game. How did it happen? Rich shoving through with the great storms. And I mean, this happens to me all the time, right? You take a big fight like this one over here, where you've got just a massive amount of Hydra surrounding the entire army, and like 5 storms eats, you know, 30% or 40% of your army, and then the Dragoon fire just kind of overtakes everything else. It's so hard to deal with just using pure Hydra. I guess that was not the play. I really felt like this game could have gone on, but props to Rich for taking a game off of Hero. Very impressive control from him. Excellent skirmishing in the middle of the map. And Hero losing the game there. Okay, Mong, gonna be our final game here in this deep dive. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. So far, we've seen the ups and downs of Hero in his recent ladder games. He's been having some ups and downs in the ASL as well, but we still believe in him. We hope that he can improve his Terran versus Zerg matchup, really put it, you know, get it up there, get his win rate up there, get his power level up there, so that he can eventually take an ASL championship. He definitely deserves it. He's been in the game for an incredible amount of time. He's been around the block. He's been so consistent in, you know, getting deep in the ASL. It's just a matter of time, I think, at this point. But we'll see how he does here against Mong, who spawned in the top left on Dark Origin. This is a tough map for Zerg. Truly a tough map, because we don't have a an easy third base with a 4th base accessible. The 2-player map, it really does lean into, or force Zergs to lean into, a more Hydraless Defiler style of play, just kind of naturally going that direction, kind of similar to Eclipse in that regard, except Eclipse you have high ground bases, right? So you can hold high ground bases. You know, you've got a little ramp, you hold a high ground base with some lurkers at the top. It makes it super difficult for them to break. And even on that map, Hydraless Defiler reigns supreme. But here it certainly is the case that you're going to mostly see Hydra Defiler gameplay, as you don't have that advantage and you don't have extra bases that you can take. You don't have an easy accessible fourth base. So we'll see if Hero goes for that style. He's gone for a 2-hatch timing here on this gas. So I think we may be seeing a 2-hatch play out of Hero. I may be wrong about this, but when you take the spawning pool and then the gas immediately after, I think that doesn't give you enough mineral income to get a 3rd hatchery. I believe you just barely have enough here to continue to produce drones and to just get this layer on time. Right as that finishes, the layer will start. Another drone's gonna start here. Oh, no, actually, Ling's going for Lings here. And yeah, there's not a lot of wiggle room, right? Look at how little minerals he has. He just doesn't have the mineral income to drop another hatchery at this point. So it will be that 2-hatch play. And with Lings out here, and he did kill the SCV, by the way. The SCV did go down to a drone there. I definitely heard that, didn't see it, but with that being picked off, I don't think that Mong's going to be left too far in the dark. I think he knows exactly what this early gas means. I think he knows that he's going to be in for some Mutalisk harassment here pretty soon. Has his gas on the way, his 2nd rack, so he's going to go for a 2 racks play. Hopefully to force out a sunken or 2. Probably just 1 sunken. Force the sunken out so that his so that Hero's build is just a little bit more difficult. So he's gonna have a little bit harder of a time. Whoa, this drone's coming out right now. Is he gonna go take a base in the bottom left? Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, taking a base in the bottom left. That actually has a ramp. It's not a great ramp to defend. It's quite a wide ramp. But I guess he's going to take a base right now. And this tells me he's not going to be as aggressive with his early mutas. Mong, about to get into his academy, will be popping out 2 medics and moving forward with about 10 marines, which is a serious threat. You do not want to take 10 marines for granted here. You do not want to, underbuild sunken colonies against 10 marines because they will just kill you. Might have to wait for the fire bats to pop out though, because there is this pretty significant force of Lings in the front. If you move out with this right as it pops out and you don't have fire bats on the way, yeah, it looks like fire bat here. So he's just gonna wait until the fire bat's just about done, and then he's gonna go forward. He needs to wait for this medic as well, right? Medic is gonna come out here. Fire bat will pop out, and then he'll be safe. There we go. Fire bat, fire bat, fire bat. Oh, he needed to pull back here. You need to make it so that only one Ling can hit that fire bat. That was a bit of a mistake there for Mong, and Mong gonna allow the Lings now into his main base, and this kills his timing. Although he did force 1 sunken, just from the fact that he was going to do this push. Seems like Hero took that very seriously, made 1 sunken anyway. So he really could have gotten away with no sunken here, just with the Ling counterattack. But doesn't end up working out. Doesn't end up working out for Mong. And now he's just going to sit back here. Wait for his range while his turrets finish up. Ooh, turrets are late. Turrets are late. Oh no. Late turrets here from Mong. Gonna lose that first SCV. Building a turret. Now this 2nd turret is going to finish up, but already quite a bit of damage has been done. Killing off an SCV and about 2-3 Marines here before this range is done, before infantry weapons is done. You really want to keep that Marine count high, especially on 2 barracks play. Coming in once again here to the natural. Start to hit these SCVs now as he's opened up this position. Mong deciding it best just to go across the map right now. He needs to get these mutas out of his natural. His range is now done, so he can actually fight, but Hero calling his bluff right now, saying, you know what, you're not going across the map. You have to stay here and fight me. Gonna kill some more SCVs, and Mong actually is gonna go across the map here. 6 more mutas are on the way. Ooh, running into these Marines. Almost loses a Mutalisk for free there. We'll start to pick off these Marines. If he kills this Marine medic group, it's really bad for Mong right now. And he should be able to get all of these Mutas together in a big clump and start to pick that off once again. This is too small to threaten. There's only one sunken here, but still, that will be enough with just a few reinforcing lings to halt that, to halt this attack. So Hero's done just a fantastic job here. Now gonna dive. Looks like he will lose a few Mutas here. Great targeting there from Mong to pick off as many Mutas as he could. But with this force dying here, it's really, really dire now for Mong. He doesn't have enough turrets. He's gonna get shut down on these turrets once again. Marines coming out, gonna shove this away, it looks like, but he just barely has enough to break through here. Starting +1 flyer attacks now. That is a very late flyer attacks here for Hero. And Armory is on the way, so he's gonna switch into some Valkyrie play now. Looks like he will end up losing 2 supply depots, which is very painful. And some lings are being made now too. Hydrostan is on the way. So Muta's flying in one more time. Bunker's gonna be thrown down here at the front for Mong. He's just trying to stay alive right now as much as he can. Third base here is already mining with Hydras here as well. We've even got lings down here just in case there was like a 1 or 2 Marine ran down there to try and kill some drones. So Hero really on top of everything right now. Has that full group of Muta threatening to jump in here once again. Almost caught up on drones now to where SCV is, or where Mong is with his SCV count. Finally, a Valkyrie gonna pop out here soon. But the transition is well underway. We've already got Lurkers. Gonna run back, try to get into his bunker. It looks like he managed to get like 1 or 2 Marines in there. 2 Marines only into that bunker. Does manage to keep it alive with an emergency repair, but still being threatened here at the front. Mong gonna come out now with a Scourge. Oh, no, with a Valkyrie, excuse me. No Scourge here, ready to go. Valkyrie almost getting picked off there. I don't know why I said Scourge. I thought that maybe he had a Scourge in that army. Would have been very, very powerful. He's thinking about taking another swipe with the Valkyrie, but he doesn't actually fire with that, which is a little bit unfortunate. He could have gotten some good damage on those Mutalisks there as they came in to hit the bunker. But Mong just barely clinging to life here. 27 to 27. He's scanning around. He might actually tap out when he sees that Lurkers are in production. This is a ton of Hydras here. He's gonna make a bunch of Lurkers and maybe even just place them out in the front somewhere. Look for a hold position play. The first couple of Valkyries are gonna come out here. Does get a big, nice volley with 2 Valkyries. Oh boy, another nice volley there. Really picking off a ton of this. Another great volley. Hey, this is going pretty well for Mong, this move out. He's still got 2 Valkyries. He might even get 1 more. Okay, he almost got 1 more volley with those 2. Lurkers here, not on hold position. Are gonna push these Marines and medics back. Not enough Marines to actually face this army. He kills 2. Oh, wow. Really, really good there by Mong. Mong gonna fall back to the bridges here, but he's gonna lose a lot of his Marine medic. Does get forced all the way back here. Lurker's gonna come forward once again. We don't have enough bunkers here to deal with this. Ling's gonna come here as well. Lurkers making their way up towards the natural. I think this might be the tap out moment here for Mong. He's really in a bad way now with Lurkers right inside the natural, dealing a lot of damage. Great targeting on these Lurkers, but it's not going to be good enough. GG is called. Mong taps out, and Hero takes this final game. Really impressive play from him. A little bit unfortunate that Firebat did not get in position for Mong. I feel like that's where things really started to fall apart. He had a great idea, moving out with that group of Medic Marine to get the pressure onto the Zerg side of the map. But if the Firebat had been right there, he would have had his turrets on time, I think. He would have had that nice push out to come here and threaten with that Marine Medic. Keep the Mutas out of his base a little bit longer, and things would have been a lot different, guys. But that is it for this little deep dive here into Heroes' recent ladder battles. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.